And we're back. And yeah, we've just had a bit of free play stuff. We've seen the place that Nightfall lost an eye. Who
And
has a feeling?
I was just going to say as well, like, I didn't really say, but what would have been seen there as well when she pulled down her eye patch is like basically like a hole. Like, it's really not scarred up the way that you'd like it to have. It really wasn't treated very well, and there's a lot of scarring kind of around where it was as well, because it was such a hack job that was kind of done in the first place. So it like definitely isn't like that kind of pretty well looked after kind of patched up, which is very much why she wears an eye patch.
Yeah, I don't imagine you saw an actual doctor.
No, like, it just is a thing that got kind of like covered up so it didn't get infected, and we all crossed our fingers and hoped for the best, and I didn't die, so that's positive.
That's a win. Every time you don't die, it's a win.
I count it as a win for our crew.
Yeah. Why are you so sweet today? Right? What's going on?
Yeah. Luke's always sweet. They just hide it in like spookiness and violence.
Was it an icon for the bisexual community earlier? I'm still reeling about this. Okay, like, it's been a nice evening.
Does anyone have a thing they would like to do?
I've got one that's fucked up.
Great.
Might as well get it out of the way with. So I would like to reduce heat.
Mm-hmm. How? It's not the same way, is it?
No.
Okay.
It's possibly worse.
How can it be worse than making?
Do we need warnings? What warnings do we need?
Content warnings?
No, I don't think we need content warnings.
Okay.
Like, I think it is sadder for Belle as a character, but I don't think.
Right. Okay.
It's not like as like triggering potentially. Yeah. Yeah, I think we like see a house, like the inside of someone's room in a house. It is like a shitty, boxy room somewhere in like Char Hollow. We can see like a blue coat's uniform, like hanging, right, like from in a wardrobe, and there's like a couple of like neatly pressed blue coat uniforms, and yeah, just like this person like curled up in their two small, uncomfortable beds sleeping. And then we hear a door creak open inside the house, and like it's this like low shot, so we can just see like the top of the bed, and their body is like the top of frame, and we just see the floor, and then like the bottom of Belle's like leg from the knee down just like steps into frame. With like faintly like bluey glowing like mist, like just like the last tatters of it like floating around it, and we just hear them like sigh, and they just like sit down next to the bed, and just like lean back into it, and just like sigh again, and we hear this person like snoring. Sleeping really deeply. And then Belle just like is like, I am sorry for this. It is not good that you are. And they say, what, like some like Scovelish insulting referent to cops. It's probably like the equivalent of like, anarchists calling them pigs. It's not good, but life is hard and coin is scarce. And we must work to get by. But you have hurt people. Both. And they just kind of like wave a hand to just to encapsulate like the entire fucking police system and its corrupt apparatus, just like at a conceptual level. And You have beaten those without a voice as they rioted. You have arrested those without wealth when they stole to survive. And now you come for me and my family. And then just like sigh again. And then just like hold themselves up, and like the camera like rises up with them to like a slightly cantilevered angle. So we get this like unnerving shot like over their shoulder, them like looming over the bed. And then they just start to hum this like deep, like resonant bass rumble. And just reach down and put their hand on the person's chest in the bed. And like close their hand and like scrunch like a handful of like bed sheets. And then the tone of the hum shifts and their hand starts to come up. And we see like an electroplasm chest start to rise up out of the actual chest. And they're just going to pull this person's ghost out of their body. And Belle just like goes around and does this to a couple of cops tonight.
What action do you think this is? Because murder isn't an action in this game anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tune. Like,
yeah, I think so.
It's by spooky, fucked up means. And it's sad and distressing and like not remotely glorious.
Great.
Yep.
How much do you kill them? You kill them pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to spend a coin to make that a crit?
I mean, how much heat do we have?
So you would be clearing 3, you would clear 5 if you spent a coin.
I think I'm happy with 3.
Cool. Alright. Clear that.
I think some suspicion lingers after a string of mysterious blue coat deaths in their sleep.
Yep. That makes sense.
I think the fiction demands that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my sad downtime action.
Yeah. Does anyone else have a less sad downtime action?
Wow. So I've still got one left, is what you're saying.
I have 2.
Yeah, there's still a few floating around.
And I also still have some free play stuff that I would like to do.
Yeah,
as
you can do all of those things.
Does anyone, for starters, want my 4th downtime action? Does anyone need it more than I do?
I should probably clear some stress.
So you can take that. So I'll just use one more. So you have one more as well then.
I'll just note that down.
And I think what I would like to do with my last downtime action, and I do still want to do a little bit of free play in there somewhere.
That's fine.
But for that action, what I think I'd like to do is some training.
Ooh.
And basically what I'd like to do is just go to my usual bar and then to some of the other bars that I kind of pop into from now and again, just to kind of get some information and whatever, and just kind of listen in, find out some information, do a bit of spidering, right? Work out kind of what the rumors are, what's going on.
Sounds good. So yeah, what are you marking XP in?
I just want to do a playbook investment with that. So just
marking your playbook
my
sheet.
spidering.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent.
Spider intensify.
Spider intensifies.
And all of a sudden, Shelob just like explodes out of an alleyway.
Yeah,
like
but it's sexy Shelob, so
like,
it's cool.
No, real Shelob, not weird sexy Shelob. I agree with Hollingworth. That was just like
it's a weird choice.
Bad.
I reckon what happened was someone somewhere went, it's got she in the name.
Look, all I'm saying is pay Hollingworth, Adam, and I to all be on an episode of Drunk History where we just complain about that particular decision.
Do you know what you want to do, Derek?
Well, I think I want to train as well because I'm one step away in resolve.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Do you want me to teach you how to attune?
Well, I've got two in command, so maybe a third one in that.
That would also be pretty cool.
3 dice. And
Want me to teach you how to command?
Or you could learn how to hear me out. You could learn how to lie.
No, that's a bridge too far for Corin, I think.
I could certainly teach you how to make orders if you want a hand with that.
Sure, to make orders.
Why am I just suddenly flashing that weird side story in Yakuza 0 where you help teach the dominatrix how to be good at being a dominatrix?
Yeah.
Why am I just going there?
Yep.
It definitely has nothing to do with my implication or context whatsoever.
No.
It's definitely-
I apologize, Alana. I have clearly I've misunderstood.
Oh, obviously. That's definitely not what I meant.
Yeah. All right.
Have I mentioned recently that my students watch this stream?
Anyway,
Any
Corin.
students in the chat, please make yourself known.
Don't run.
You have to disclose your student status. Similarly, yeah, if any of the students from my work are in the chat, which, like, good God, please no.
Yeah, no, the chat is marked as 18+, so...
Oh, thank God.
The
It's
channel
fine.
is...
My students are university level. They're
I
all
know, yeah.
Right.
perfectly valid.
I'm just protecting Luke's poor innocent babbies.
Oh, yeah, thank God.
But yes, Corin, you would like to... So what does it look like as you practice your steeliness?
My steeliness.
I have a thought.
Yeah. Well, my thought is going that I should take a course in assertiveness. But please, what's your thought?
I mean, I was just picturing a montage of you bullying your poor employee, the cuttlefish guy.
I mean, like
Corin learns to be a better boss, and that gives him an extra dot in command.
That's right.
I mean, like, legit, like, yeah, like, Corin learning some assertiveness because, yeah, when he was paid to scare someone off, he gave them money.
Just to, I think it would be kind of cool if I just made this guy's life hell every.
I'm also just imagining like Nightfall takes Corin to go see the Guttlefish guy, and it's like yell at him, and you're like,
Yeah.
and you kind of do, and Nightfall's like yell better.
Okay, but that literally is what the side story in Yakuza 0 is like.
Should I give him some money? No, yell at him.
Yell at him.
Maybe I should apologize. I think I yelled at him too much. No apologizing!
He's your employee, Corin. That means he signed up to be treated like shit in exchange for menial living wage.
If he says no, you have daggers. You need to pull them out and threaten him. No, that's awful. No, threaten him.
Yeah, all right. I'll beat the shit out of this little prick.
Fuck! Alright, that's how. I just love that you're like, threaten him. Okay, I'll beat him up. What?
No. Too much.
This is the language of my fists.
Corin, there's a middle ground.
Corin, this is about me teaching you, and this is the lesson of today. There is ground between paying someone and hitting them.
We need to find the delicate balance
Okay,
between
take your
motivating
XP
and assaulting.
Take your XP and resolve, Corin.
So that resolves. So I go back to 0.
Yep, and you get a dot in one of your things.
Yay, that's cool.
Yeah, nice. Oh no, my face hurts from giggling.
We're having too much fun tonight. It's terrible.
It's bad. Too much fun. Fun cancelled.
See, Bella gives us a sad down time, and then we get a fun.
Yeah, we need to mitigate that with some sad so that my face can rest.
Yeah. So as you're walking along, an orphan says, "Excuse me, do you have any soup? I am dying of hunger," and then coughs and falls into the river.
Oh.
Sad.
Oh.
A little bit funny.
Tragedy is when I stub my toe. Comedy is when you fall into an open sewer and die.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Luke, you were going to get rid of some stress?
I was gonna get rid of some stress. And I think the way we, like, as an audience get this is a bit, like, weirder this time.
Again?
Well, no, ironically, because, like, nothing goes wrong. Right?
Oh no.
Like, I think we just get, like, again, this long walk down the tunnel into the darkness, this like tiny little island of light around the lantern, just like bobbing its way down into the darkness. And then Belle gets down to the cove and down to the beach. And just, like sets the lantern down. And then we just see, from a distance, them just like moving around in this little pool of light. And I think they get their bell and like tie it to a stalagmite or something, and then just like let it just rest in the water so that like as the waves lap in and out, the bell just like gently like rings. And they like, like just like sit down and lie down and just like close their eyes and like drift off to sleep. And the camera just like drifts like past them, like up their body, past their head, onto like the lantern lit wall behind them, and we just get like a little shadow play of like what they're dreaming, and it's like a little like human shadow moving through like a tunnel, very much like this, like very, very narrow and cramped. And just like going through this like maze of tunnels, turning like left and right and left and right, and getting like more and more lost and more like frightened and more lost. And then the little figure like turns a corner, and we see like the beginnings of some really horrifying like silhouette. And that's when like ring, we hear like the bell, and the shadows all just like lose form, and Belle just like sinks into the thoughts of the ghosts and the voices of the ghosts, and away from their
Cool.
nightmares.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's do a prize.
How much is that?
I don't know. Let's see.
Ooh, it's not very stress relieving.
Nope.
Do you think there's a reason for that?
I think a lot of old memories are like bubbling back up.
Makes sense. Cool. All right. So I think Corin's got one and Alana's got two. No, Corin's used up one, so now Alana's got one left.
Yep. And also we've got room for free play.
And
I've used all of mine. I've done
okay,
3.
yeah. So if there's anything anyone wants to do, then...
I mean, we've still got 10 rep and 4 coin. So like,
just keep going forever.
Yeah, if we want to, we just keep going. We just keep doing it.
Or I do have a couple of things I would like to do.
Yeah.
So one of them is with Corin and one of them is with Belle. And I don't know if you guys have preferences. I don't care which order I do them in. So if you
Belle
have
is sad.
Belle is sad.
Let's give Belle time to recover.
Okay.
What do you want to do with Corin?
So what I was thinking was a bit after our kind of time where we go out into the street and see all the bad, sad things. Nigel's kind of been thinking, and at kind of, late afternoon comes up to you and says, I showed you some things earlier that I haven't really shown anyone. And I'm wondering if you have time to go and see one more thing, but it would need to be like now.
I sense the urgency in your voice. Let's go.
So I take you out, and I take you out kind of into the same sort of direction toward where I was. But until before we reached the kind of full street that we were on, I take you kind of down another alley, different alley, wider, bit brighter, a little bit less terrifying looking. And in there's like a fire escape that's like super high up on the thing. But if you like get this like piece of iron that's like behind this bin and you like throw it up and like there's like a system, right, in how you can get this down so you can get up and up this fire escape. And so I do all of this, and it's obvious that I've done it a bazillion times before, right? And I start to climb, and I kind of gesture for you to follow. And I scale this side of this building. It's pretty rickety. It's a bit iffy. But you know, I'm like, it's safe. I've done it a bunch of times. It's fine. Come on. And I take you up to the top of this building, to this rooftop. And it's definitely not the tallest building you've ever seen, but it's one of the tallest ones in this particular area. And because it's like late afternoon, almost like the closest thing to dusk that Duskfall gets, from where we are, if you get up onto like this little like tower thing that's on the top of the roof and you sit there, you can see just a little sliver of sun as it like just gets to the edge before it falls. And I just kind of like sit up there, tell you to come and sit up there. And once we're both sitting up there, I just kind of gesture at it and I'm like, look. And that's all I got, right? Like there's no, oh, isn't it lovely? There's just like, it was kind of like it's not all bad kind of a gesture, but it's like, here you go. I wanted to show you this as well, just to balance it out a little bit.
And like,
Nice.
Karin, it's entirely possible that this is the first time you've seen. So like we see like the shards of the sun, right? The shattered sun, like fall down past the horizon, piece by piece, in the dusk. And this is entirely possible that this is the first time that you've seen the shattered sun since getting to Duskfall, right? Like,
Yeah.
because like you like it's the shattered sun is at most a collection of like small very bright stars, right? Like it's shards of a thing that are no longer as bright as they were, and
Right.
and yeah, like you normally don't see it from within Duskfall because you're usually like too low down in the grime and the buildings and all those sorts of things.
Would I have seen the shards of the sun like this at home?
On a big open wide plain, yeah. It would have been a thing where it's like, where like, you know that like seeing those shards has probably got a bit of a like, oh wait, we need to like be quickly
Find a place to
home.
stay.
But yeah.
Yeah. Whilst he's watching it set, he makes some strange movements with his hands, like he's picking sand up from the ground and running it through his fingers. And even though there's no sand and there's no ground and we're sitting on a rooftop, that's just kind of the automatic motion that his hands go to when he sees the sun. Thank you.
Super cool.
Yeah. Cool. That is one of the things I would like to do. Does anybody else have anything they would like to do before I take over for my last kind of thing that I'd like to do?
Is there any other little stuffs?
Oh, I guess I want to gather everybody around, Adi included, and talk about the experience under the bridge with the black man.
Yeah.
And I pull out the little mosaic piece of slate and go through that interaction. And I'm particularly looking at Adi's reaction when I tell him that whatever we do next, and all signs point to something very big happening very soon, that we need to find a peaceful solution, and we need to tread very carefully, because it could either be success or ruin that face us. Belle, do you have something that I can keep this safe in?
Let me.
I wish to keep it with me and close to us because I feel like it has something to do with what happens next.
Yeah, I think they sigh and shake their head. And you know someone who could have made somewhere to keep it, but
I wonder if what I do, Ash, is I unscrew the bottom of the hilt of my gun, and I slip it in the little compartment that's in there and
All right.
secure it back up.
All
where
right.
the whiskey normally goes.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Where the whiskey normally goes.
Where the whiskey normally goes. Yeah. Yeah, I'll keep
Yeah.
it there for the time being.
Look, as far as like timing goes, I'm happy to like if you'll have like are doing free play scenes and stuff. Maybe we want to finish up at the end of this hour, so that we can like come back into things, kind of like full force at the start
On
of
the
next.
Adiz mum score.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
for like the nice big season finale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean,
Yeah.
But yeah, if you'll have things that you want to do in that time, and like Adi will need to do downtime
Yeah.
when we start up next time. But yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, if Alana, did you want to do a thing with?
Yeah, I'd like to do a scene with Alana.
Yeah, there's only one last thing that I wanted to do. And basically I just wanted to take Belle aside. And Nightfall's noticed that Belle sees a lot of things that aren't really there and or at least sees things that Nightfall doesn't see. And having had a very unsuccessful drug trip earlier and wanting to kind of see different parts of the world that aren't necessarily where they like what you see normally. Basically Nightfall kind of wants to learn what it is that Belle knows and what it is that Belle sees and how it is that Belle sees these things. And yeah, that's kind of what Nightfall wants to talk about.
Yeah. Let me think. I think Belle takes her down into the mine.
Mm-hmm.
But like a different shaft than the one that we have seen like every other time.
Yep.
And yeah, like it's there is dust like really thick underfoot, like because this whole mine complex that Belle uses is like an abandoned one because
Yep.
the mining industry, what with the advent of electroplasm and all that, is a little bit in decline.
Kind of not as important anymore.
Despite what Skull Motterson of the Duskwall government has to say. Yes, but yeah, so yeah, I think Belle takes you like down through this path, and yeah, like again, like we've got the lantern and we see this puddle of light, and I think they like they tell you a story.
Mm-hmm.
And at first it has the telltale like lilt and like all of the like familiar like narrative shapings of like a fairy tale. But it doesn't take too long to realize that like they are telling a story from their life.
Mm-hmm.
About like a young child and their parent, and all of the warnings that their parent and their father and their mother and their aunts and uncles and their grandparents and like everyone in their life like taught them about like ghosts and curses and like demons and devils. And this young child like had many adventures like down in the mine with their family, and I think it becomes like clear like fairly quickly that like family here is like a very conceptually loose term of like everyone who worked in the mine is included in that pool, which is, I think, round about like the 14th uncle being introduced. They're like, hang on.
Yep.
And one morning, there was a great hullabaloo and great cry all up through the mine because grandmother, Baba, had broken through and found a new cavern full of new coal, rarer things. And in all the excitement and with the foreman cracking his whip, nobody stopped to notice the knocking. Like rain on the roof of the cottage from far away. Which was... And I think Belle, like, we see, like, their hand reach out and, like, trail along the wall, and they, like, tap, 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 and their hand comes away, and, like, their fingerprints are, like, smeared with dust, coal dust. That tells when the devils who wreck tunnels and set fire to bad air are lurking. When the child went down, they were finally old enough to join their family. They all went down, 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 down into the depths, where everything was dark, and everything was cold, and all was silence but the mining song. And down into the cavern they went, and they started to sing and keep time with the ringing of picks on stone, and then... And I think they just like trail off. Because we see like around them, like things open up into like a cavern, and it's not just a tunnel anymore. And there's water in this one too, but it's not a beach, it's like a lake. And the picks rang. And the sparks flew. And that was the end of their family. And nearly of the child. And I think again we get like the shadow play on the wall, but this time like we get the ending. And that like silhouette that had looked like some kind of like a spooky demon is just like the shape of a fire.
I think Nightfall at that point in the story just kind of reaches out and holds Belle's hand and doesn't do anything else. Just doesn't know really what else to do, doesn't really understand what that would even feel like, but knows that it hurts.
Yeah, and I think, like Belle like turns and like smiles down at her, and we see like, over their like clean shaven cheeks, just like tears, just like rolling down their face.
Mm-hmm.
And I waited down there in the dark for a week before they dug me out. And they like smile, but it's like a really sad, like broken thing. But I wasn't alone. My family was still there, just different. And that is what I learned. And then they like come to a stop and like tug her to a stop. And like settle down like cross-legged on the shore of this lake. And like take her hands. And start humming. And Belle does a very unusual thing, which is they attune to the ghost field just to make something beautiful. And like light like blossoms and spreads through the water like phosphorescence. And like little balls of like witch light kind of like rise up from the coal dust around and like dance in the air. And it's kind of like what being underwater in the void sea might be like. And yeah, I think they teach Nightfall how to make the lights dance.
I just picture you like sitting down cross-legged and the hand holding and seeing all of that in Nightfall. You just see like a tear like in the one eye that she has, and she just whispers, "Can you teach me?" And then you get that's how I picture
and we get the two of them like humming like in harmony.
Nice. I love it.
It's so
I love
nice.
Good scene. I love it. Oh, so many good feeling scenes and stuff tonight. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, if anyone, do you have something else you want to do, Luke?
I really liked that scene.
Yeah, it's nice.
And I would like to add some mechanical weight to it.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And because there's not a lot of things it could actually be, I am just going to spend one of the crew's rep and take a train action and resolve, because that's the best I've got.
Yep. That makes sense.
Yep.
That does sound right.
Yep, that's cool. I like it.
They'll shed their feelings, and it wasn't terrible.
I love it.
Cool.
We did it, everyone.
Yeah.
I have so many feelings. What a session.
Shall we do some XP and wrap up, and we can come back into it ready for adventures with the D next time?
We can all be like, "Hey D, we had cries. It was fine."
The sads were real.
It's Luke's brand, spooky and sad. They bring
It's
it.
great. It's so good. I love it.
I was suddenly filled with a great love for that bit in Castle in the Sky where they're underground and all the like everything lights up. I was like, yeah.
I'm wondering. I feel a bit strange doing experience without a D here. Is it something we should do next time?
You do it at the end of session, right? Like that's.
Otherwise, we'll forget what
we'll forget.
what we did.
And we've done it without other people.
We've done it.
before.
We've done it at the same. Previously when there's been a person away, we do things for the session while they're not there.
Yeah,
Okay.
The character growth curve in this game is nice and like relatively high.
Yeah,
so
people aren't gonna like.
It doesn't break the game.
Yeah, people aren't gonna end up like super OP compared to each other and things like that. So yeah, do you who wants to do their questions?
I can go first if you like.
Sounds
I
great.
have them right here. Address a challenge with calculation or conspiracy. I feel like going and having a chat with Sven and all of his friends to try and reduce heat. Fits that?
Steph, yeah.
Yes. That's who I meant. I don't care.
It's fine. You don't have to remember his name. He's just your boyfriend.
He's not. I'm his girlfriend, but he's not my boyfriend.
All right. Yeah, I think you definitely
I think-
get one for that. Do you have any others for that one?
No, like the only other thing I did that was spidery was literally so that I could get playbook advancement. So I
Yeah.
don't really think that.
All
Yeah,
right, that doesn't.
I
Yeah.
did anything else.
All right.
But I do definitely think I get 2 for beliefs, drives, heritage.
Oh
and
yeah,
background,
definitely. Yeah,
we
you
just-
definitely did that
That
multiple
was the
times.
whole session.
Yep.
And struggled with issues from vice or traumas. I think that my vice came through with my trying to deal with my stress and my drugs and my
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yep. Cool. So yeah, I think you definitely get one for that. Did
One for that.
you do any desperate actions? There weren't many desperate actions today.
I didn't do any desperate actions. I didn't really do any actions at all because I wasn't in the score.
Yeah.
I do wonder, like, the only other thing that would be anything to do with my vice or traumas is the fact that I literally went to Belle to be like, hey, can you teach me how to hallucinate better? Because
I think. Yeah, I don't know that caused you trouble. I didn't struggle with. You didn't struggle with issues from it, so.
true, yeah.
Yeah, like that's.
I feel like the fact that I did that is potentially an issue in and of itself, but yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, no,
The
that,
best
yeah.
hallucinations are real ghosts.
Yeah, that's it, right? I'm like, hook me up, baby.
Hook me up with it. Give me that good ghost shit.
Give me the good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
That puts me 1 away from a playbook advancement.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Not that it matters, because that will happen at the end of the season finale, and then
I mean, you could just spend like a coin or a rep or
That's
something
true.
to do another action and just be like, I train. Right? Like you could
that's
just
true.
be a train
You
gremlin.
can only train once in one action per downturn.
Right.
Yes, true. Yeah. Luke, do you?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Should we do your questions?
Yep. So I marked my
Really?
Yeah, cool,
my desperate
nice.
actions.
Good.
I'm sorry. I've still got some feelings.
Yeah, that's
fine.
Address challenge with knowledge or arcane power. I think when I killed those cops, that was some arcane power,
Yep.
and it was
was certainly
sad.
something.
It was sad and upsetting. I not won.
Did you know, Luke, with
Um,
great arcane power comes great arcane responsibility?
With great marginalization and oppression by the horrible machine of capitalism comes a skewed moral compass and no neat choices.
Yep. Legit.
Expression Blaze Stride's heritage background. Here are my notes. Here's what I've got. Belle really values Kellen and values that friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Scovelish gift culture with Zamira. Belle loves the crew a lot. Belle's backstory is sad.
It's
Yes.
true.
And I think between those, I think I
You've
get
got two XP in there somewhere.
Yep. And then struggle with issues, both just like walking up and just like hanging, just being like, yo, Gaga, let's just be pals, I think was reckless. And also just like being like, yes, the club's door, it's certainly safe. I trust this.
Yep.
And yeah, I think getting all weird and spooky with the pool was definitely being haunted. Yeah, because I could have helped Harn, but I was
No.
distracted being a spook.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that fills both my playbook track and my resolve track.
Awesome. Well done.
I'm putting my resolve track into consort. I now have 3 consort because I learned about opening up and having good feelings.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly.
And for my special ability, I am taking Ghost Mind. You're always aware of supernatural entities in your presence. Take +1 die when you gather info about the supernatural.
Wow. Nice.
That's handy.
No
Yeah.
sneaking up on you.
I'm dope.
I'm expecting you to start yelling, Ghost Mind, Ashton! Ghost Mind!
Yeah, that's right. Ash, where are the ghosts?
Danger sense!
Danger sense.
Cool. Derek, questions?
All right. So, addressed a challenge with violence or coercion. Well, I didn't successfully coerce or command the dudes in the score, but does that count anyway?
I mean, if you tried to address it with coercion, then I think that makes sense.
Yeah. And then violence. Well, we visited some violence and coercion upon the cuttlefish dweller. So
in your training scene. I love it.
Okay, but is he a challenge at all anymore?
No,
Is my
he's
question.
absolutely
No, that's true.
not.
Okay, so it probably doesn't.
I can't really double up like that, can I? Because that was a training thing, and now this is.
Yeah, I mean you can,
Like-
but the point is that it's not a challenge. So
Yeah,
right,
right.
like training isn't a challenge. That's why it's training.
Yeah, so maybe just one
Just one for that one.
thing for that one.
Yep.
Express my beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Well, I think I did more of that this round than in any other round. So there was meeting somebody who knows who I really am, and telling somebody who I know who now knows who I really am. So there's those two. Struggled with issues of vice or traumas. Well, I went through an awful lot of grief to indulge my vice.
You may have accidentally done a deal with a
And
demon in the
a
process.
demon showed up. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yep. No, definitely mark one for that.
So one for that. I think just one.
I think just one. I didn't see it pop up
I
the
think-
second time.
Spending a good portion of this score and the last session as a 104-year-old woman maybe didn't.
I mean, if you had haunted, then I would absolutely give you the XP for it. But
Don't have haunted.
yeah, all right.
Crew.
Cool. Let's do crew sheets because I'm keen to see what that looks like. So.
What did we get? What are the questions? Did we execute a successful smuggling? Require new car? We did.
We did.
We did that.
Get yourself that XP.
Finished the track. It's us.
Ta-da!
We get
Hey.
advance. I think instead of taking a special ability, we should take some more upgrades.
Okay.
Just because that's
Let's
cool.
talk about that in offline so you can talk.
Yeah, exactly.
to,
We can do that
about
later.
it as well.
Did we contend with challenges above our current station? Yes.
Yeah, you did.
How dangerous were those ghosts? They were only tier 1, weren't they?
Which ghosts?
The Ghosts of Burmore Bridge faction.
Oh, yeah, they are. Let me have a look.
Well, actually, more important question. What tier is Dee's vampire mum?
do you get
what
XP
tier
based
you got?
on? Do I have to tell you the tier?
Is it above our current station?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so we get 2.
Yeah.
Because we contended with the club and Dee's mum.
It is. She is above your current station.
We did it. Good job, Derek. You did it. Did we bolster our reputation or develop a new one? I think we were definitely strange. And also dare. Like, we were kind of gauche and like...
Yeah.
And like, you barged into the like
Yeah,
rich...
daring, rude. Is there one for rude?
Rude.
Yeah, let me have a look at what the options are. Everyone just hang tight for a moment.
You definitely.
Is
No,
there
I
a
think that,
You did just walk on in. That is pretty daring.
yeah, I think dare. I think you can take daring as well. You
Alright,
can
cool.
take 2.
Yeah, we definitely weren't subtle or savvy this time, but like, it's fine.
You're strange
I
and
was
It's
daring.
fine. It's fine. And did we express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew?
2 XP for that. We
Yes.
saw so much of that.
We had lots of feelings, and we
It was
loved.
wonderful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Big fan of the feels.
Yep, and then I will put in the Twitter chat for us all to figure out what we want to do upgrades wise.
Cool.
Cool.
Wonderful.
Well, shall we do some shout outs and wrap it up then?
Mhm.
Let's start out with Luke. Luke, do you
Ah,
wanna- ha 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 ha.
you got me.
I got you.
Found you.
Do you want to do some shout outs, Luke?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Luke. I'm still Luke.
The
I'm
whole
game
time.
designer. Yeah, I know. I'm a game designer. You can find games I've written in the past at gamesfromthewildwood.itch.io. You can find games I'm working on at patreon.com/gamesfromthewildwood. If you like my brand of like spooky, sincere, sadness, you should check my games out. They're all a lot like that. I'm writing one about making families in space. It's very good and heartwarming at the moment. Also, I have a podcast called Feelings First. You can find us on Twitter at feelingsfirst_. We play intimate, relationship-focused role-playing games with kind of a focus on queer representation. And we have just put out our first episode of our Dogs in the Vineyard campaign. It's great, and the characters are all train wrecks.
I'm
ready. and they're just going to get more like that. It's going to be very good. My non-capitalist plug is that you should watch The Dragon Prince because I love all of my children. It's a very good show.
All right.
Nice.
Sounds good. Derek, did you want to do some shout-outs?
Yeah, so I'm Derek. I'm a member of the Dice Stormers. We play lots of role-playing games on YouTube. You can find us youtube.com/the Dice Stormers. My non-capitalist plug is actually starting out to be a capitalist plug. This is the Nintendo Labo, and you buy it, and it comes with a whole bunch of cardboard cutout pieces that you then assemble into various things. So this is the steering wheel, and this is the thing that the steering wheel is going to go into, and it's got all these levers and stuff like that and things that you pull and stuff. And that's the capitalist side of the plug, and the non-capitalist side of the plug is you get to assemble these things with your 4-year-old, and the bonding is so much fun. And you may have seen the 5-year-old here earlier, and we've been spending all weekend putting these things together, and I'm just loving the time with her. So that's my non-capitalist plug. Spend time with your family members who you love.
Yeah, that's real good. Alana, do you have some shout-outs?
Hello, I am, and will continue to be Alana, as always. I do a lot of things. I never know what to say in these. I am the managing director of Queerly Represent Me. You can find us on the internet. You can also find me at Alana M. Cole on Twitter, and I have a website, and it lists all of the crap that I do that I should be doing, but instead playing Blades in the Dark because it's more fun. My non-capitalist shout-out is, kind of vague. But over the last 2 weeks since I last was here, I've been trying to kind of connect with stuff and connect with the world and connect with my kind of spirituality and kind of put certain memories of my past to peace and doing kind of ritualistic things, I guess, for my own sake. And that looks very different for everybody. For me, I do a lot of kind of witchy things, and I want to kind of put good energy out into the world by kind of doing witchcrafty stuff, and that works for some people. But basically, just having rituals that are for you and that either make you put bad things to rest or have good energy going forward or show your friends that you love them and protect them and giving them things that symbolize that and that sort of stuff. Just good non-capitalistic rituals that make you feel like you're having good energy. That is my vague, broad, weird non-capitalist plug for this fortnight.
I like that one. That's good.
Alana is also an iconic bisexual.
Thank you for this gift. That's all I ever want to be told.
You can put that. You can put that on the back of your book. You can put it in your Twitter bio. Yeah.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Anyone who wants testimonials, just hit me up on Twitter.
Yeah. I like the idea of doing testimonials as microfiction.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I think just wholesome testimonials should be a thing that we all just start handing out to people.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Well, I've been Ash. I've been your GM and your host today. Thank you all for joining me. If people want more of this stuff, we do 3 role-playing games a week on this channel. So hit that follow button if you haven't already. You can find the VODs on our YouTube, on my YouTube. You can support me on Patreon if you want to support the games that I make, because I write my own role-playing games and we play them here sometimes. Or you can catch me on Twitter. All of those are at Acegiak, ACEGIAK. Other than that, we'll be back here next week for our season finale. And until then, we'll catch you later. Bye-bye.
See ya.